I don't know exactly who this is for or if you guys are interested in knowing this sort of thing, but I have always wondered. And it's always been frustrating for me because I feel like when someone's going through something hard or doing something hard or they're in those, I don't even mean hard, when they're in the in between, the now and the not yet kind of concept where they say, this is how it played out, they always come after it's already played out. So, like, an example would be that you see some pastor speaking who's like got a large ministry, and you see him, sort of like walking in power. He's seeing miracles, he's seen his, stuff all come to fruition, and then he tells stories about the time before that happened, and he's like, I didn't always know it was going to be like this, I wasn't always this way. But when you hear the story, it never lands because he is this way now. And so you can't really get into this like, oh wow, like, no, I really can resonate that it was difficult at this time for you. And so I've always wanted to make this recording, make the video before God showed up. We have 3.5 days left in the United States. And so it's this strange sensation right now. Like, what do you do with this time? Are you trying to soak up America? Or are we trying to like eat all the foods we want to eat here? Is it more about relationships and saying goodbye? But saying goodbye is tricky because you don't want to just like keep on saying goodbye, like spend 3 days saying it's going to be sad, it's going to be sad, it's going to be sad. Additionally, there's stuff to do. There's a lot of things. For example, we just came from the AT&T store where we paid off our phones, because the plan is to pay off our phones, to unlock our phones, to port our number with Google Voice, which I didn't know was a thing until now, so that things that you don't really think about, like your two-factor authentication from your bank, can actually happen in South Africa without getting international charges on your cell phone number. There's a lot of little things like that that you don't really want to do until you're just about to leave. Selling Whit's car is another example. Well, we kind of want to wait because we want to drive the car. So we're in this just weird time right now of these different value systems, different priorities that we could focus on. And it feels sometimes exciting. Sometimes there's this temptation to be like, oh, I wish I could just get it all over with and get on the plane. And then you're like, sometimes this fear just washes over you. Oh no, we're not ready. These things aren't done. These goodbyes haven't been said. This is still unresolved. I'm going to speak right now as a missionary who's going through this, that's always kind of second guessing the call. Did he really call me? And you get people that say words all the time that are like, hey, you know what? If God calls you, he's going to take care of you. You know that, right? And I'm like, yes, I do know that. I sometimes second guess if he called me though. and so then it's like, so will he take care of me? Get into all this. Of course, it's all nonsense. It's all just chatter. We know we were called. It's tempting to start looking at the circumstances, how things unfold, and always asking, well, is that God telling me to go or to not go? One of the biggest trials that we've had was finances, because go back 5 months ago when we decided this was going to be the way that we were going to do this, and we didn't even know when yet, we had a plan, and that plan included being self-funded missionaries. And we had investments that we knew would mature within that 5-month period. And we had homes that we knew would sell. And so that's going to give us this windfall of money, and we were willing to just take that thing like an alabaster jar, break it at the feet of Jesus, and if we came home with nothing, we were willing to make that sacrifice. We felt very proud of ourselves. God, however, had a different idea, and the houses haven't sold, and the investments haven't matured. And so we're in a little position where we're like, okay, we're kind of talking with realtors in Cape Town in a very, very competitive rental market. And it's like you see a house, and then by the time you even hear back from the realtor, they're like, no, it's already taken. And then we're at the disadvantage because not only are we not physically there, but also when they're like, okay, let me see your financing, they don't seem to take the, no, God's going to provide for us. They don't seem to use that as a good credit score to go in there. So it just has us in this funny spot. But when I'm making this video today, I've really been leaning into the idea of counting it all joy, having gratitude even before the breakthrough, having gratitude before you see the miracle. And that's been a bit of like feeling illogical or just sort of like play fantasy stuff to be grateful before you see the miracle. But in this particular case, there is an element of this where I find myself actually hoping that it doesn't come through before we get on the plane. And this is just one of those things where it's like I've just always wondered. There's a movie, it might be called like Stepmom or something like that. But there's a scene in the movie where a man gets left at the altar, and everyone's looking at him like, what's he gonna do? When he's like standing there at the altar in his tuxedo and his bride, he finds out his bride's not showing up. Like he's literally left at the altar, and his response is that he says, I've always wondered how this would feel. And I really love that, because there's a lot of things in life where you don't wish them, but I've always wondered how they would feel. Very exciting, very adventurous, very terrifying, like can make me sweat if I think about it. Like it is scary, it's really scary. And at the same time, there are very few opportunities to experience it. And so I'm grateful. I guess that's like kind of the way that I'm choosing to be grateful, is that I believe that I'm standing at the front end of an amazing testimony that hasn't happened. And so I just want to take the time to record this because it hasn't happened. Because if I tell you this a week from now and I'm like, you guys wouldn't believe it, we didn't know what was going to happen, and then God showed up. Well, it hasn't happened yet, right? Like I'm in it. I'm in this testimony. And so it is exciting in a strange way. I feel lucky because I feel like I get to have this experience that I've always wondered about, and I'm literally feeling it right now. And it feels scary. It feels irresponsible. There's tons of condemnation. What's the matter with you? Why would you ever do this? It gets extra loud if Maverick is weighed in. Why would you do this with your son? And at the same time, I feel like proud, like God is like, wow, what an amazing lesson to teach your son, that I can be trusted. What an awesome point of history to have with your wife and in your marriage, to know that you could trust me. And what I believe is going to happen is that I'm going to get on that plane and go into airplane mode without a solution for when the airplane lands. But when the airplane lands and I get out of airplane mode, I will have solutions. And that's a rush. It's a wild thing to say, to be like, no, this is what me, the math teacher, calculus teacher, engineer, this is what I'm saying I'm doing with my life. I'm gonna go get on this, and it just feels a certain way. And I'm not trying to say, hey, look at me, look how cool I am, that I would do this. Don't get me wrong, I do that sometimes. I said do, but it's not really that. I really am trying to just like have this conversation with anyone who's wondered, anyone who's planning to go, anyone who has been and want to reminisce about how this felt. I just want to honor this moment and share with you the gratitude that my prayer literally this morning was, God, please don't answer it too early, because I want to know what it feels like to get on that flight and not know how it's going to land. Maybe it's you. Maybe you're watching this and God's like, yeah, I'm nudging you right now. And while Jake's in the air, you're going to help us out. And when we land, we're going to have what we need to get a place to stay. We're not going to be homeless. I'm not trying to put that out there. We have an Airbnb. So we've got 7 days, all secured. We're even going to go on a safari. So that'll take another 2 nights. We're going to go stay in a super nice place and eat great South African food and see lions and elephants and all that good stuff. Like I'm not trying to paint this like we're going to just get off the plane and maybe sleep in the dirt. Like that's not where we are. It's more of just like this practical, like I don't have a plan. I don't know where we're going to stay. I can't say this is going to be our address. I can't say this is going to be our town. I can't say that we can afford more than 3 months of rent. There's a lot of uncertainty. And I'm just trying to enjoy that. I'm trying to enjoy the leap. I really like it. I am really grateful. I feel like it's a very personal, like God knows my heart really well. Like my dad knows his son really well. And it's like a treat. Like, this is for you, Jake. I know that the way you were knit together, the way you were designed, this is a luxurious gift to have the opportunity to get on that plane without knowing what happens when it lands, and just to feel that, to choose to trust, to have the opportunity to make that choice, and hopefully to share it so it either inspires other people or satisfies the curiosity of other people, or like I said, I'm sure a bunch of you out there have already done it. And maybe this just sort of reignites some kind of a flame in you that was ignited when you did this already. And you're just like, yeah, I've been there, done that, Jake. It's really not that big of a deal. But to me in this moment, it is. It feels big. And if you're still watching this, I appreciate you sharing this moment with me. See ya.